I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Poppy Tooker, host of the WWNO radio program, Louisiana Eats. Hello.
Hello, Peggy.
Glad to see you. And making her Steppin Out debut, New York-based cabaret singer and motivational speaker, Karen Berg-Arlington, here to discuss her one-night-only performance at the Mid-City Theater. That's tomorrow night, and she's here for Festigals, and she's going to perform for us a little later. Welcome, welcome. Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
And theater critic Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News. But first, restaurant news, Miss Poppy.
Well, new restaurant is what this is, and I have to tell you, I don't know when I have been so taken as I am with Socko Leigh. Socko Leigh is a brand new restaurant in the Warehouse District. It's in the Cotton Mill building, and it's Cody and Samantha Carroll, this very young, adorable couple, both trained as chefs. They met in culinary school. Originally, Cody was a farmer, sort of near New Roads, who, when he wasn't farming, he was fishing at Grand Isle. So he has a real affinity for the food coming straight from the source. And the restaurant space is incredible. His brothers, his whole family helped craft the furniture.
Now that's where the Sunray Grill used to be.
Exactly.
Most
and
recently.
Spice Inc. a long time
in the
ago.
Warehouse. Yeah, the Warehouse District.
Is never, the space has never looked so good. And he's doing totally unique food. It just really caught my attention. That is like a bowl of turtle soup if the turtle soup was stew and the turtle meat was all in a delicious boulette. Wow. It's fantastic. And then they bring out this dome dish, smoked red snapper with house-made plum jam, a slice of blue cheese, and shoe-pick caviar. And you sort of put it all together on the toast. But when they take the dome off, the smoke just comes right out. And then there's a lot of game on the menu, something I've never seen before, fried backstrap, venison backstrap, and they have duck chaudin. I've never heard that on a menu before either, and pheasant sometimes, and it's dinner Tuesday through Saturday and lunch on Sunday, and I highly recommend this
Two
place.
quick things, just for the uninitiated. Socko Leigh is the name of a fish.
Socko Leigh is the name of a fish.
I know you're a fisherwoman.
It's a freshwater fish. It's kind of like bass, and of course, people may have heard of their first restaurant, which was of course Hot Tails.
Yes, in New Roads.
Yeah, and these two were named King and Queen of Louisiana seafood last year, so they're really somebody to watch. Their first foray into New Orleans. Welcome. Wow. And then, of course, this weekend, it is time for Creole Tomatoes again at the French Market, the 29th annual Creole Tomato Festival. This Saturday and Sunday, there's music, there's cooking demos, and there's lots and lots to eat. Andrea's Restaurant, Crepes a la Carte, Volio, Perlou, and the Food Drunk Truck will all be there amongst the other regular. Yeah, it's going to be great. And you know, it's all covered. If it's raining, don't worry. Just go. It'll be cooler if there's a little shower. Brian Berkey and Leslie Castay, they have opened up a second location of Wino. It's the Wino Shop, and of course that stands for Wine Institute of New Orleans, which is their original place on Tchoupitoulas. So this new place is in the Place de St. Charles, and it's got a full wine selection, wonderful accessories, great place to shop for Father's Day. Their hours are 11 a.m.
That's a cute pick.
Oh, I love that, Brian. 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And on Wednesdays, Brian's offering wine classes from 5:30 until 7. So he says it's the most unknown wine shop in the CBD so far. And then this is going to sell out. So that is why I'm talking about an event that's coming in July. A spirited evening with Danny Meyer. And that's happening on July 15th. You know Danny Meyer, he's like the king.
New York, New York.
He's unprecedented 25 James Beard Awards. He's the CEO of Union Square Cafe, Gramercy Tavern, Blue Smoke, and of course, the new hot burger chain, Shake Shack. This is gonna take place during Tales of the Cocktail. He's being hosted by Tales, and it's gonna be at the Harris Theater. He's gonna share insights from his 25-year career, and Danny is just a wealth of knowledge. And good news, it's $115, but right now, if you go and use the code on the Tales of the Cocktail site, Meyer20, you get a 20% discount.
Wow, and that includes everything, right? That's it, inclusive.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
That's a good deal.
And it's a real personal experience with Danny Meyer, and he is one of the great food heroes of the world.
All right, thank you, Ms. Poppy. And now, though, it's time for our weekly Artist Spotlight. Tonight, we're featuring 2 works by New Orleans artist Annie Lousteau. This one is titled Yellow Sky. And look at that. Oh, wow. And the other one is the equestrian statue. I think actually they're flipped, so I'm giving you the wrong names. But anyway, you can figure it out. But they're very attractive. And they're both on view at Ariodante Gallery. That's on Julia Street through June 30th. In addition to her art career, Annie has long been a champion of the local music community. Visit Ariodonte's website to see more of Lousteau's works. They're very colorful. They're very imaginative. She's a bright light in the New Orleans community. We appreciate that. Really pretty stuff. And we're so glad to have Karen here. And Karen, not only do you sing okay, and perform, and I know you were at Lincoln Center recently, weren't you?
Yes, yes, wow. I did, launched the show, Open a New Window, which I'll be doing at Mid-City. But it's really the book, it's sort of a mashup of a book and musical theater at the same time. And
so you're combining Broadway tunes with a message about positive thinking.
Yes,
and there's your current book, isn't it?
That is my current book. It's my 3rd book.
So what can we expect tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, it's going to be there's going to be reinvention stories. People who some local people giving their stories of inspiration, and some people who have come from New York, reinvention stories. The whole cast are reinvention stories, and there's 2 gentlemen who are singing with me who are New York singers, and one travels the world doing musical theater. And so we've put together, it's lively, fun-filled, toe-tapping, but everything has a message. For example, Bruce Rebold, one of the singers, the musical theater person, he and I are singing Somebody's Got Your Back from Aladdin.
Oh, okay.
And so Phil Hall, the musical director, turned that into a male-female duet. It's a little tricky doing that, but it really is about what my book is all about anyway. It's really helping each other to go through that path of reinvention, so you are not alone.
Well, and we know that song too. You are not alone from Into the Woods. So tell us more about yourself, though. I know you're based in New York,
correct,
and so you travel all around the country doing speaking, but singing too.
Yes, I actually travel the world, working as a communication coach for high-level executives, and also performing. And the reason this book came to be is that I would watch very talented, brilliant people, high level in their Fortune 500 companies, and when they'd get ready to do their event, they would crash and burn. I say, what is this? What is it? And it's the demons that people carry around with them. The don'ts. Well, you can't do that. You better not do that. You better not do that. And that really derails them from their success. So what I did for the book is I interviewed 50 people who are leaders in their field in the corporate sector, and 50 professionals in musical theater.
Oh,
and got some of them are words from the WYES who give tips, and the others are reinvention stories.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, to be in theater, you have to be comfortable in front of an audience. That's sort of rule 101, isn't it? So that helps a lot. Just learning how to be comfortable, whether, in anything you do, especially in the business community, but in terms of theater, and you can't be distracted. Even if somebody's coughing at the front row, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really finding your way to be comfortable, and everybody has a specific, that's why there's so much superstition, I think, in sports and in musical theater, is that, what works, what we found worked once, let's make sure it continues the thread. And people do the oddest things. But if it works for you to get you in your space so that you can really feed off of the audience. And it is true that every audience is different. And as soon as you walk out on the stage, there's a sense of it. And you are working off the audience. They're coming to see you, but you're working off of them. And as a public speaker, what was so enjoyable at Festivals today is that I got them talking. This is about them, their reinvention stories, what their path is. And I even organized some networking. They were doing networking within that session. It was great. Festivals is fabulous.
But I guess a cardinal rule would be know your audience. If you in terms of just giving a public speaking engagement, know who you're addressing a little bit better. Do some homework.
Well, I do that, except that I found my own little trick, and that because I'm thrown into so many different kinds of events with very little notice, I just ask people, what do they want to get out of the session?
Well, that's true. Direct. Yeah, absolutely.
And the most fun for me when I'm performing is actually being in the audience and playing with them. You know, people love it, and they like to be involved. And you see more and more shows, you would know, where there's more audience participation.
Now, tomorrow night, we'll hear a little bit of Sondheim. Who else will we hear?
We're going to hear Jerry Herman, Stephen Sondheim, and some other composers I can't remember.
That's okay. Lots of Broadway, because you're a Broadway baby.
But you've got Irving Berlin. You've got a couple of Irving Berlin, Stephen Sondheim. You've got Errands and Flattery. We've got, of course, Somebody Got Your Back from Alan Menken.
So it's a nice mix. I just think people are looking for, great music in the middle of the summer in Mid-City Theater. It's just such an attractive venue.
It's a hoot.
It's so comfortable. Once again, this is tomorrow night. It is a hoot. It is a hoot. And it's easy to park, too. We'll let you go and do your thing, because we're now here is Karen Berg-Arlington, and she is accompanied by Phil Hall with the Stephen Sondheim song, Everybody Says Don't, from the musical Anyone Can Whistle.
Everybody says don't, everybody says don't, everybody says don't, it isn't right, don't, it isn't nice. Everybody says don't, everybody says don't, everybody says don't walk on the grass, don't disturb the peace, don't skate on the ice. Well, I say do. I say walk on the grass so it's meant to feel. I say sail. Tilt at the windmill, and if you fail, you fail. Everybody says don't, everybody says don't, everybody says don't get out of line. When they say that, then maybe that's a sign. 9 times out of 10, baby, you are doing just fine. Make just a ripple. Come on, be brave. This time a ripple, next time a wave. Sometimes you have to start small, climbing the tiniest wall. Maybe you're going to fall, but it's better than not starting at all. Everybody says no, everybody says stop, everybody says mustn't rock the boat, mustn't touch a thing. Everybody says don't, everybody says wait, everybody says can't fight City Hall, can't upset the cart, can't laugh at the king. Well, I say try. I say laugh at the kings or they'll make you cry. Lose your place. Fall if you have to, but baby, make a noise. Everybody says don't, everybody says can't, everybody says wait around for miracles. That's the way the world is made. I insist on miracles. If you do them, miracles, nothing to them. I say don't. Don't be afraid.
Once again, don't miss Karen Berg-Arlington. Berg-Arlington. That's tomorrow evening at the Mid-City Theater. And we're thrilled that she could be with us, and we'll hear from her a little later. New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Nancy Nangress named one thoroughfare on the West Bank and another in City Park named after World War II Allied leaders, General de Gaulle Drive and Roosevelt Mall, as in FDR. Now, tonight's question. From 1997 to 2002, New Orleans had a minor league hockey team. What was the team's name? And before moving to the New Orleans Arena, the Smoothie King Arena now, where they play home games? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine, a gift certificate for two, courtesy of Vianne's Tea House in Old Mandeville, offering their culinary and gourmet tea experience. And tonight we have two dish towels with the messages Deli Llama and Bagels Can't Be Choosers from our friends, I love it, and from wearablevegetables.com. You can visit WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events, and you can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to see our program on our homepage. And now on to Mr. Allen.
Well, first of all, congratulations to our very own Michael Cerveris and his Whodat on his selection as the very first New Orleanian to win a Leading Actor Tony Award. Now, that's in a musical, of course. Some may suggest that Ray Walston was the first because in 1956 he won for Mr. Applegate and Damn Yankees. But even though he listed his birthplace as New Orleans, he more than likely was born in Laurel, Mississippi, where his family grew up. So we have a feeling he listed New Orleans as his most likely place that people would understand, yeah, I'm from New Orleans. But Michael Cerveris definitely is the first New Orleanian living in the city, and of course acknowledged that when he won the award. Michael's flawed and complicated character of Bruce Bechtel in the Fun Home musical that we know and love now is an important part of that formula. He won as Best Leading Actor in a musical, but there were also 4 other Tony Awards that the musical won, including Best Score, Best Book, and Best Musical. So we want to keep all that in people's minds because Fun Home is a very unusual, very challenging musical. It really brokers a lot of issues that some people may find uncomfortable, but it's a really wonderful, complicated kind of work.
In the center
There's
with
Michael,
a full wig
and all of the characters who play Allison Bechdel, who is of course the cartoonist and who comes out in a lesbian, as far as that goes, with her father, also in a closeted gay. It's got a lot of issues that come up, but I think that you'll find that particular show has generated so much interest. Its box office quadrupled the next day.
So proud
it's
of him.
fantastic. So we're gonna hopefully get a chance to do a review on that when I go to New York, and hopefully be able to give you a first-hand report. We hope to see Michael home soon, but not too soon. Let him stay up there for a while.
Right.
Meanwhile, Southern Rep brought out their Detroit, the Lisa D'Amour play that came out for the first time last week. She and her husband, Brendan McConnelly, who is the sound designer and also the person who wrote the original music compositions for this, were in the audience when I got to see it Saturday night. Detroit is not just about a city in Michigan. It really is used to summon up the idea of the failed American dream. He, of course, the persons who are in that are Mike Harkins, who plays Ben. He's fantastic in the role of a laid-off bank employee, and his wife, who is Jessica Poldwell, is somewhat deluded. They befriend these two people who come in to live next door to them as neighbors. Again, they're looking for excitement, and they more than find it in the fashion of the neighbors, Kenny and Sharon, who are just out of rehab. They let that leak. And then, of course, there are the characters played by Joshua Sinkowicz and Laura Friedman. They bring chaos to their already crazy world in a mix of hopelessness and I would say craziness.
I'm going to see that tonight.
It is something to be known that Lisa likes to do, very quirky characters, and she did this in 2010. It won several national awards, including a Steinberg Award as a new play from the American Theater Critics Association. I will tell you that it's quirky, it's fun. There's a major amount of care taken to bring the audience into the play, they actually have sod growing on the stage floor to bring you into their backyards. And so I would also say hats off to the scenic designer Martin Andrew for a fabulous set. And also watch for David Hoover, of course, who has an all too short appearance in the second scene. A great play, and I think that everybody will enjoy seeing it. Southern Rep has this through June the 20th at the Ache Powerhouse Theater. Now, if Detroit is about the failed American dream, then Brothers from the Bottom is about the hope of rebuilding community and tradition in the face of insurmountable odds. NOCA alumnus Wendell Pierce leads a tremendous cast of players portraying New Orleans community fighting gentrification and development instead of rebuilding and restoration. And this is a play that's been written by Jackie Alexander from New Orleans. It really captures the heart, the soul of much of what we as New Orleanians have come to know and love about the city. It tugs at the strings of love and really does have a love of community and a universality that crosses all different ethnic groups. And I will tell you that it's really about fighting the man, even when the man is from your own family. There are parts of Brothers that will ring true for more others, especially those in the Mardi Gras Indian subculture. But you don't have to know what a spy boy or a flag boy is to know what the two brothers, Chris, played by Wendell Pierce, and Trey, played by Wendell Franklin, are fighting. They're fighting for renewal or redevelopment. Brothers from the Bottom also has a sensational player, Kevin Mambo, who is, I believe, an Emmy Award winner. He's sensational as a true blue New Orleanian who wears his do-rag like a mighty helmet, and he's allied with Chris in their fight against the proposed development of the neighborhood. If you love New Orleans, you should run to see this play. It stars Takara Cash, Thaddeus Daniels, and Megan Robinson, direct from the Billie Holiday Theater in Brooklyn. Brothers from the Bottom plays through the 28th of June at the Lupin Hall at NOCA. And again, you'll enjoy it. Again, those of you who have a little bit of identity with the Mardi Gras subculture will note some of the references there. Now, if it's summertime, I guess it's about time for the New Orleans theater community to assemble and witness The Bard. That's the Shakespeare Festival at Tulane. Opening this weekend is the not very often told tale of the British king, Cymbeline. The story involves a British king who is fighting the onslaught of the Romans, his daughter and several missing relatives, an evil queen, and an equally evil stepson trying to ascend to the throne in nefarious ways. Cymbeline opens this weekend, and it plays until the 27th. So those of you who would like to see a little bit of Shakespeare, it'll be in the offing. And later on this year, they will have in the summertime, I believe it's going to be Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. So that should be kind of fun, too. So there's the Shakespeare programs that you'll see. Also, coming up at the National World War II Museum, I want everybody to know about the show that's coming up. One of the most difficult impressions to me has always been Bob Hope. Very few people can get it right. But the comedian, was always number one in my book. And the persons who are involved with the Bob Hope All-Star Show at the National World War II Museum's BB's Stage Door Canteen, want to invite you out next week, especially in time for Father's Day. They're going to have this show, which has been presented a couple of times before, but it's always a great treat for the family. And don't forget that the Stage Door Idol auditions are going to be held this week on Sunday and Monday. So if you want to go, check it out.
The Bob Hope, that's a cute show.
It is. It's a very good show.
And did you want to tell us
There's
about Blue Man?
one last thing.
Yeah.
We've had the Blue Man Group here in New Orleans, I believe, once or twice before, and they're just fantastic. They had such a tremendous turnout the last time. They're actually extending the next time they're going to be in New Orleans in May for 3 nights. It's going to be May 13th, 14th, and 15th. Tickets went on sale yesterday. They are a fantastic, a quirky, weird group, but again, they are very talented, and those of you who have seen them know what I'm talking about. They were, by the way, Jay Leno's first guest on The Tonight Show back in '92.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's a good piece of trivia.
Yes.
I had no idea. They throw giant balls out into the audience.
They do everything.
All right, thank you, Helen. Now, though, it's time for our picks. Poppy.
Festigal Saints and Sinners Brunch, Sunday, 10 a.m. at Muriel's. There's going to be a special performance of Vatican Loki's Cabaret Sauvignon.
Oh,
It'll be fun.
Very good. Karen.
Well, I have to say that my pick, now that I've heard about Bob Hope, I have to say anything at the World War II Museum Canteen is a not miss event. It is my quick pick for ever.
Okay. Thank you, Alan.
Well, Saturday night, I want to remind everybody about the Old Marquet Theater. They're having their fundraiser at the Celebration Distillery on Frenchman Street. This is a real fundraiser for a real curtain, but it's also going to be their season announcement. They've never done that before, the first time they're doing that, and so we want to find out what they're going to be offering next season.
And before we go to my picks, though, I would just like to congratulate Mary Ellen Dupre, and Nicole Aiden of Windowsill Pies for winning WYES's Chocolate Benefit. And it's their Best in Show category with their dark chocolate tart with Earl Grey caramel. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. The judges, by the way, were New Orleans Magazine's Eve Payton, Tim McNally, and our own Poppy Tooker. Yay! They also acknowledged Best Savory, Cook Me Something Mister, Best Cake, Cheese in a Cake, Best Candy, Southern Candy Makers, and Best Cookie, Baker Made. We also want to show you something else. It's a very artfully done bread sculpture. Look at that. And with the WYES Producer Circle name on it, this was created by New Orleans chef Tucker Fitzhugh. He's also a visual artist. And this was part of a celebration of the evening to thank our supporters of our local programs. And we also want to thank longtime WYES supporters Arlene and Alec Phillipson for being such warm and generous hosts. Thank you both very much. They've been helping us out for a long time. Now I have two picks. First of all, Gina Ware, fanciful recycled clothing. They'll be presenting their summer sale. That's tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the store, 4429 Bienville. That's around Murat or so, or in South Alexander. For more information, there you go. You can call that number or you can email her. And also, Damn Yankees next week at the Tulane Summer Lyric. But now, though, we leave you with Karen singing Open a New Window from the Jerry Herman musical, Mame. Thanks for watching and good night.
Open a new window, open a new door, travel a new highway that's never been tried before. Before you find you're a dull fellow, punching the same clock, walking the same tightrope as everyone on the block. The person you ought to be is three-dimensional, soaking up life down to your toes. Whenever they say you're slightly unconventional, just put your thumb up to your nose and show them how to dance to a new rhythm, whistle a new song, toast with a new vintage that fizzes and fizz too long. There's only one way to make the bubble stay. Simply travel a new highway, dance to a new rhythm, open a new window.